All right, everybody. Let me hit play, remove all my Zoom stuff. Welcome. We're going to be talking about the next project I'm about to introduce here. And we're going to be talking about symbol sets. Now, we did simplification so far this semester. You've now done this awesome poster where you've got a deeper dive into Illustrator tools. We're going to move into what we call symbol sets. And so here's an example of pictographs. This is, on a rock, drawn on a rock in Indian Creek State Park in San Juan County, Utah. An example of a symbol set for perhaps hunting, right? This has been done since the beginning of cave drawings, right? So we're going to talk about how we as graphic designers use symbol sets to communicate more complex ideas. So we're going to learn to identify symbols within an environment, learn to see unique characteristics of symbols, explore and experiment with shapes and patterns, practice simplicity in our design practice, and continue to develop a visual literacy. So symbol systems have tremendous potential, and it's because we are now a global economy, a global society. We have cross-cultural communication happening everywhere. You see it in airports, Olympic venues, other places with diverse user groups. Think of like international events like the World Cup soccer, right? Or other sporting events, other big music events that happen around the world. People speak lots of different languages. And so what works in an area when you're having a big event or you're having something happen where you might have lots of people traveling to this event or coming to it, or cultures interacting, symbols can communicate without having to worry about translation of languages. There is a concern, though, when we get to extreme simplicity, we also can risk the possibility of miscommunication. So it's important that as cross-cultural communication grows and overlaps, symbols must become universal. And when we choose a symbol, it can't be abstracted. It has to communicate what it's supposed to communicate. So that's really important when we're developing symbols, is to understand that we have to make sure that all of our audiences understand what our intention is for any of these given symbols. All right, so now I'm going to take you, bear with me. I'm going to take you with me on my journey to Croatia. I don't know why my hand keeps going up in this. I mean, there's issues with. There it is. Okay, so Croatia. This winter break, I went to Croatia, to Dubrovnik, Croatia. My son was studying abroad last semester. And I thought I would share with you, I came up with this idea for this project on this trip. So I have to say, I love travel. I would say you guys just shared all about yourselves with me. And what I will say about myself is that one of my passions in life is travel. And I just feel so lucky that I have the opportunity to go and see some amazing places. As hold on a minute, I have to stop because someone got stuck outside. Hold on a minute, stop. Hold on a second, admit. All right, there we go. Share. All right, I think you're seeing my screen again. Yes, soccer is it's a very big soccer community. Yes, my son actually went and saw a lot of soccer games when he was there. He was there for 4 months. He went for the whole fall semester. So Croatia, amazing, amazing place. How can I get back here? Okay, here's a couple pictures. I just wanted to show you a couple pictures. It's a medieval city. It's a walled city. It's one of the few walled cities still around and left. there is something, this is an example. These are, actually walked the whole wall all the way around Croatia on my first day in Croatia. Oh, I'm getting too old for these things. Holy cow. I was exhausted after that. That was a long walk. Any Game of Thrones fans here in the crowd? Because if you are, this staircase might look very familiar from Westeros in Game of Thrones. This is the staircase that Cersei went down for her walk of shame through Westeros. Because Dubrovnik in Croatia is Westeros in Game of Thrones. So if anyone is a Game of Thrones fan, this is where it is shot when they are in Westeros. Of course, they don't have all the dining patio tables and everything in front of it when they're shooting Game of Thrones, but that's the famous stairway that is used in the show. All right, and I'm doing all of this to give you a little bit about the place that I'm going to start talking about. So here is one of the key buildings in downtown Dubrovnik. And you can see there is a bell tower. There's a beautiful clock on this. It's a bell tower, clock tower. This was in December, so there was the 2024. They were getting ready for New Year's Eve. But I want you to see this little banner that is hanging on this building. And there's this banner. Now there's 3 banners here. I'm talking about the colored banner that has all the fun iconography and symbols on it. That is hanging on when you enter into the walled city, these are hanging from the walls of the walled city as you enter. And here's a closer up image of it. So this is for the Dubrovnik Winter Festival for Christmas and all the holidays. And I saw this, and I already know what I'm teaching this semester, and so I'm constantly thinking about our projects, because we like to mix up our projects for our classes so that everybody's portfolio doesn't look exactly the same when they graduate. So we still need to teach the same things, but we want to try different projects. So I saw this and I was incredibly inspired, not only by the beautiful architecture that was all over Croatia, but seeing this example of a symbol set used to brand a festival for their winter festival, I thought was awesome. And so I want to point out to you what they've done here. So this is, notice the symbols in here. So I'm going to talk on the upper. So you're going to see there's an archway, right? There's a whole little archway in the blue and green. There's a brick pattern in cream and gold. If you look at the wall that this is hanging on, it is hanging on a brick patterned wall because all of the buildings are made of brick. You can see there's a little like turret in the green and gold. Well, this building has turrets because it's like a castle kind of building. Then you can see the little clover leaf pattern in the left. I'm going to point out these in the building in a minute when I back out. Then you have a little like bumblebee character made out of just simple shapes. And then there's a little kind of Renaissance era. I don't know my instruments. I know it's not a guitar, but is it a sitar? Like a medieval, I think it's a sitar. If any of you are musicians, you can correct me. I appreciate it. So then here is the poster. Here's another version of this broken down into another poster. So let me back up. So here's the building. So this is the building. And if you look for some of the symbols that you're seeing in the poster, in the graphic, well, there's the arches, right? There's the archway. And then if you look at the windows up in the center there's the clovers. You see the clovers. And if I pull back even further, you can start to see that there is also the castle-y like turrets in the corners. That's why I'm showing you all these pictures of Croatia, to kind of show you some of the inspiration for this. So what they've done is looked at the place, Dubrovnik, the architecture, specifically this main building, and There you go. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating banners. And I want you to also notice when we look at the banner over here, the colors change, the layout changes, some of the patterns change. We're going to be learning how to make, not only take and make symbols out of inspiration of different buildings, but we are also going to work with creating these
just these, yeah,
patterns.
thank you.
Oops, someone. Okay, so I also then, when I was in the village in Dubrovnik, I went to the Museum of Architecture, and I found more of these amazing patterns and symbols in the architecture museum. And so I took photos of them because I was just immediately thinking about the patterns and the symbols. Look at the beautiful pinwheels this one has. This one has a peacock. You see that? You see the peacock? These are all carved out of stone. It is amazing to see the stone carvings. And this is, so, all right. So that's my idea of where we're going to take this project. I am going to show you COD student samples from other semesters, last semester specifically. So if you are at COD, you'll see these are hanging on the walls at COD in the design department. This assignment was used for personal, so I had you do your poster last project as a personal poster. For this class, they did this project as their personal project. So this is examples of this same project used as a personal project. In other words, they had to do a portrait of themselves, and then they had to do all the things they like as symbols, and then create a layout with them. So this is what these are from other students. So these are they do a personal portrait, a self-portrait, and then they took all the things they love and make symbols out of them, and then created the patterns on some of them and that. So you can kind of get an idea. These are all, you've probably seen them if you've been on campus. These are hanging in the graphic design department. But for our purposes, we are going to do, and I'm going to grab the assignment so I can show you. I'm going to jump over to that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, wrong one. We're going to go on to project 4, symbol set. All right, and so make sure you guys are seeing the same thing. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're doing a landmark of a place. So we're going to be designing an icon set for the spirit of a place. This mark must incorporate the spirit of a place. We're going to look for patterns and symbols that we can find in the landmark architecture, objects and elements that help communicate the culture of a place that you could build a symbol set from. Your design must contain only original imagery, no text. So imagine these banners. So these are the 2 banners that are my inspiration for this. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to create 2 banners, and I have them these 2 sizes, and I have a template I've created for them, so that you're going to create a set of icons, but you're going to explore 2 different ways to set them up and lay them out. One on a landscape orientation of a banner, and one on a portrait orientation of a banner. You'll be doing both. And these are my inspiration examples. So our goal here, the process will be, we're going to be thinking about creative preparation. What do we want to do? Where do we want to do it? What kind of building do we want to, what kind of place, I guess. And so I'm kind of focusing this on place. So we're going to think of, it could be anywhere in the world. It could be a specific building, or it can be a place. Like, for example, this was inspiration for Dubrovnik. They focused on one main building because they have this main building that I'm sharing you pictures of below. But there were other elements in here that were also kind of speaking to Dubrovnik. So you can make it be about a place that has landmark buildings, but other elements can also be included in it. We're going to think about word associations for that place. We're going to do mind mapping like we've done in the past, thumbnail sketches. We're going to look at style. We're going to look at different styles of iconography and symbols and what kind of style we want to use for our symbols. We're going to look at gathering reference material. So much like I did here, you're going to have photos of the place, images of the building, and that can be taken off the internet as well as using your own photos. Like if you've gone on a vacation or you've gone somewhere that you have fond, wonderful memories of, much like I do of my vacation to Dubrovnik, you're more than welcome to grab those photos and use that as your inspiration. I encourage it actually. Or maybe it's your hometown, or maybe it's where grandma and grandpa live. Whatever is meaningful to you, really, it's up to you. We're going to build them in Illustrator. We're going to learn how to make patterns of our designs. We're going to I'm going to teach you how to make patterns of your symbols once we've created them. We're going to refine them. We're going to apply them to the banner, and then we're going to have a presentation. So that's the overall plan. Let me walk you through. So here's the step. So the first step we're going to start on this week. Open, I have a typo here. We'll fix that. Begin by creating a mind map of ideas and places and architectural landmarks. Think of 5 adjectives that represent your chosen place. Use those 5 key words at the first level of the spokes of your mind map, and we'll build our word list and mind map on your mural process board for project. Oh, I wrote 3. It's supposed to be 4. See, I got a couple typos. I did this too quickly. Once you finish your mind map, please choose your strongest idea. We're going to move into the sketching. So our goal for just next class is to think about the place we want to go. What place do we want to highlight? And then any architectural landmarks we can think of for that place. Start thinking of your 5 adjective list for that place. And we'll talk more about it next class. But I would like you to come into class ultimately with an understanding of what place you want to move forward with. I have created, where's my mural board? Let me pull this stuff over. Oh, not this one. What did I do? Oh, here we go. So I've created a template in Illustrator right here that has that I'm going to give you for this project. It has the 2 banner sides already created. So you're going to work on this symbol. It's called P4 Symbol Set Banner, and that's right in the project folder. So you'll see this as a template I'll be giving you. And then lastly, I'm looking for my mural board. Oh, here we go. Here's mural. I've created a project for folder, and that's where you can create your folders for your project by choosing the same thing. I'm just going to remind you how we do it. We select a folder, not a folder, cancel. We go to, we get into the folder, and then we go to templates, and we choose COD Classroom templates, and you can choose your bento box or the column template. And then you can make sure it's not into your names room, like not in Amy's room, but I'm going to go all the way down to spring. Where are my spring? Oh, here we go. Spring 24 graphic design 1, select project 4, and that's where I would put my mural board. And then you can start working in that, starting with your mind map. And then of course, any images, and right in the same research area, I'd put your images and things of your place. Or that can be part of your mood board too. But I actually don't put it in your mood board. Your mood board is going to be more for inspiration of illustration style. So keep all your research, meaning your photos of your place and all your stuff about your place in the research section. Remember, these are really big boards and you don't have to make everything so big. So you can put all your photos in this area. Okay, I'm going to see if there are any questions. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see any questions you might have and ask if there are questions. Luna, yeah, go ahead.
So when you mean like an area, can this be like in general like an area? So like let's say an inside of a building. Like would
It would
that
be the
work or
building.
okay,
Like it
just
would be
the
if it's a
building.
land, if it's a historic landmark, like if it's, I don't know, John Hancock building or something. Like you
Yeah.
can choose that. and then focus on the John Hancock building.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Chicago is too broad. It needs to be pretty, like Dubrovnik is, all the stuff is the same. So that's why it's mainly this one building, but you know,
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
other elements of Dubrovnik.
So like some
Like
like a
you,
specific building. Okay. So like the Shed
yeah,
Aquarium or like the yeah.
right. Because you want to be able to pull specific symbols from that building. Chicago's too broad because you have every kind of architecture style imaginable. I mean, there's architecture tours telling you all the millions of styles of architecture in Chicago.
And then something more specific. Okay.
Yeah, more specific. The more specific you can be, the better it'll be for you. Yeah, Catherine, I see your hands up.
Do we have to have been to the location that we want to choose, or could it just be off
Nope.
of like the internet? Okay.
It can be off the internet. Yep. You do not have to. That's a good question. You need to be able to get enough imagery though, so you can be inspired by it. But absolutely, yeah. Imagine you're working for a travel company. You're not going to necessarily travel to every place you're going to design for. So yeah, you can do all your research on the internet or at the library. You can get books on architecture out on the library. Would be very good. Nope, it cannot be fictional. It does need to be a real place because we're pulling real, all of the symbolism off real things. And we ultimately, I want to be able to show our banners hanging on the real buildings. We'll look at making it a mock-up so we can kind of show our banners hanging, much like I showed you with the ones in Dubrovnik. Good question, though. Hogwarts is real in my heart. Yeah, I hear you. But you know what? Why don't you do Oxford, England? Like do Oxford. That's kind of the inspiration for Hogwarts. You know, do Oxford, England, if you want to go that route. Other ideas? Any other questions? Good questions, everybody.
I was just gonna say there is like a Harry Potter world or something, like for whoever
Well, we
wanted to
don't.
do Hogwarts. That's like a real
Well,
place though. It's like in something.
we don't want to use a trademarked brand, so I don't want us to do Hogwarts at all. But because we don't want to use any of the branded or the characters or anything from that, because that's you know what I mean, that's a problem for us, for you, copyright infringement. So we don't want to do anything with copyright infringement. We want to use real like architectural buildings that we can pull symbols off and create our own thing. But it can be inspired by Hogwarts, but it can't be actually Hogwarts characters or any Hogwarts symbols or anything like that. So, but there are many awesome buildings like Hogwarts that you can look for in the world. And I know for sure Oxford, England was one. Oxford, the halls in Oxford and the campus in Oxford was heavily influenced. Hogwarts design was heavily influenced by the university in Oxford, England. Good questions, though, everyone. Other thoughts? I'm hoping you guys are having fun ideas. So think about places. We want to keep it pretty tight. You don't want to get too broad. It will be harder to do this if you have too many things. We want to keep it to a single landmark building or a very small community because it will make it much easier to work with. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up, and then we're done, and we'll talk more about this definitely on Thursday. All right, well, gather your thoughts on what place you want to feature for the next project, and then start doing your visual research and putting your word list together. So those are the things we want to start working on. But I definitely want you to come up with knowing exactly what you're doing on Thursday. You need to know what you're doing on Thursday. What's your landmark or your place that you're going to feature in this, and make it sure something that you're really interested in. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. Awesome work, everybody. And don't forget Thursday, you want to have everything uploaded to Blackboard by Thursday. Great work, everybody. Have a great week. I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.
So I sent you an email, like a very frantic email explaining because I forgot that because I was originally gonna like take my computer right away, but you could just ignore it. It's like frantic asking to present on and stuff, but it's fine.
Okay. Is everything okay? Is your computer
No, I
working
don't think it's
okay?
gonna turn back on, but it's okay. It's
Oh gosh, I'm so
I
sorry to
know,
hear
it's
that.
okay. Thank you though.
All right. No worries, no worries. Take care.
Have a good week
Bye.
or have a good night.
Okay. Yeah, you too. Hey, Chris.
Hi, I just wanted to let you know, I won't be able to attend class Thursday because I have to go to a funeral.
Okay.
Is there anything I can make up online, or should I just like use a
Yeah.
mural board or everything?
Yeah, mural board. Put it all on mural. So just go ahead, build your mural board out and put your information about what your place is, type it into your mural board. Give us you can see what we're doing. They're going to do mind mapping in class. And we're going to start sketching ideas. So you can follow along on the assignment sheet and then just put everything you're doing in mural. And then I can give you notes in mural.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Chris. Have a good one.